Right, welcome to another lecture. Right now I want to show you the basics of how to render an image, and then I'm going to explain how animation works and what animation is when we export it from Blender to other editing softwares. So now I'm going to go back to my camera view where we were before, and this is not the final result. This is not what the final result will look like. If I want to see what the final result will be closer, I can actually click on this rendered view and then go to the rendered preview. So now, as you can see, we don't have any lights, but if you remember the lighting episode, we can actually add some lights. Right now, what I want to do is add a point light on the corner. So I'm going to press on Shift A, light, add a point light, take this like this, and then move it on the side. And I make this a lot stronger. Go to the point light settings, drag out the power, maybe drag down the temperature, make it warmer, and then expand the radius as well so that it covers more area, becomes a lot softer. I don't actually like this Kelvin. Maybe I'm going to move this up. Actually take this, press on Alt D, and then duplicate this, and then place it on the back over here so that the entire monkey is there. So now what we want to do is we want to render this image. We want to see what the camera sees over here. In the final image, in the final animation, we're only going to see what's inside here. So if you want to, for example, show the monkey in a small way, you're going to take the camera and move it forward. If you want to show the entirety of the monkey, you're going to take the camera and place it somewhere over here as well. But before I render the image, let me tell you more about the camera settings. So what if I select the camera, I can click on the camera properties and I have a bunch of settings over here. First thing you might notice is these settings, which is called type and which is called focal length. We have different types of camera, but most of the time we want to use perspective. Now, I don't use these three and I cannot explain what they do in detail, but for Minecraft animations, they don't really matter. So we can stick to perspective camera and use perspective camera. Now, an interesting setting which you're going to change a lot in your animations is the focal length. If I go lower on the focal length, you can see the image becomes wider and stretched. But if I go high and then go something like 100, the image becomes flatter and monkey is going to be a lot closer to the camera. So this is like the lens. You have a lot of control over the lens. Now, what I like to do is mostly I keep it at 45 if I have some nature scenes, outdoor scenes, but sometimes I have a lot of characters together, so I might want to decrease this, or I might want to increase this if I want to focus on a separate aspect of an object or focus on something small. For now, let's keep this by default, which is 50. Let's move this something like here, somewhere over here. And we have different settings here. We have shifting lens, but I don't really use it most of the time. Now we also have these options, clip start and end, which are used for larger scenes. I'm going to show you what these do when we start working on large scenes, but I want to place my camera somewhere where I'm basically happy with how the monkey looks. Maybe something like here. And now I want to show you how to render this image, because when we're making animations, we need to render hundreds, if not thousands of images. So that's why it's a taxing process. So we need to learn how to render an image and how this works. So to render an image, there are two ways. One, we can go up here, click on render, and then render image. But as you can see, the shortcut for this one is F12. So what I can do is make sure I'm happy with my camera placement and then press on F12 shortcut. And now it's going to render the image. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to render each image, and it totally depends on the specs of your PC, how strong your PC is, how large your scene is, how many objects and materials and other stuff you have in your scene. But for me, it took not even 1 second. It took 0.69 seconds, which is very, very fast because I only have a monkey inside my scene. But if you have a larger scene, again, it's going to take a lot of time. So keep that in mind. Now I rendered an image, and I can actually click on image, save as, and then save this image inside my course documentation or any other file if I want to. Now, once you locate your desired folder, you can actually save it wherever you want. I recommend you to save this in the course folders because they are neatly organized. So select this, move it towards where you want to save it, click on the name and change this to something like first render test. Now I'm going to save the image. And once I go back to folder, I can actually open up this image pretty easily. So I can click on first render test. And there you go, I have my rendered image. So that's if you want to create a lot of cool renders, a lot of cool wallpapers, or other types of graphic design, you can use this method. But if you want to create animations, you want to render a lot of these, but you don't want to render them one by one. What you can do is once you finish animation, let's go up here and then click on render animation instead of render image. But this is a bit more advanced, and I'm going to show you how to save this properly later on in the course, so don't worry about that for now. And also, if you want to see the rendered image, you can press on F11 and then F11 again, or press on F11, and then if you want to turn this off, press on escape. But that's pretty much what I wanted to show you about the camera, about the lenses, about the camera movement, and about rendering the image. And later we're going to jump into more advanced topics slowly. So I hope you're following along, I hope you're having fun, and I hope you're enjoying this course so far.